Look, I've been living in California, LA, pretty much 60 years, born and raised here. And this fire is different. Something fishy is going on. We got half of LA pretty much on fire. But right now, at this particular moment, down in South Central, where there are no fires, where there are no wind, where there's nothing going on, you got ICE doing checkpoints, conducting checkpoints, looking for people.
Did you see that immigration raids were done in Kern County in California, basically against anyone who looked Latino? Listen.
Border Patrol activities is being reported all over Kern County, from Maricopa to the downtown Gap bus station, even door to door and on freeways. But this Chevron off 7th Standard and Merle Haggard saw arrests firsthand.
Well, we usually get our normal people in here coming in. They buy their food to go to work, and they were field workers. And as soon as they paid the food and everything, they went outside. And as soon as they went outside, they grabbed them. They started taking their belongings. They were all laughing while their food was being thrown away.
They, as in Border Patrol agents, employee Candy Garcia tells 17 News, Garcia says the agents, many undercover, parked right outside and took away 2 handfuls of people.
Am I being detained for, sir?
Because I need to know if you're a U.S. citizen, yes or no.
The fact that I have the right to travel is not a good enough answer for you.
All I need is you're a U.S. citizen or no?
It's not obvious the way I'm
No, it's
speaking
not.
to you that I'm a U.S. citizen.
No, it's not.
So what was the scope of the stop?
This is a Border Patrol immigration inspection. Everybody has to stop here.
Can you explain to me how I would prove to myself that I'm a citizen or prove to you that I'm a citizen?
All you have to do is tell me at this point.
At this point, all I have to do is tell you that I'm a citizen. Okay.
This looks straight out of an apocalyptic movie. Mercado Latino has never looked like this. A ghost town. Completely empty, even through lunch rush. The heart of the Hispanic community, Mercado Latino, also received a visit from a Border Patrol unit.
As you can see, it's completely lonely. Nobody's here.
Flores said around 30% of the businesses closed on Wednesday, and when he asked Border Patrol agents why they were there in the first place,
Well, his answer was very dumb answer. He said, "Oh, we're looking for Walmart."
this Chevron saw a significant drop in business a day after it was raided by Border Patrol agents.
If you see a bunch of brown folks getting in a car, write down the plate number.
A letter titled The Brown Roundup Part 1.
And it states that starting the last part of January 2025, this nation will commence the largest roundup of brown illegals in our history.
Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Reporting live from Bakersfield, California, the epicenter of the Border Patrol ice raids. Street level media here. We are here to show the world it is about to get crazy in 10 days. It is about to get crazy. I'm telling you right now, we are on the verge of a different revolution. They're not going out without a fight.
99% they are farmer workers. They are my regular customer, my regular bread and butter. Happened today, it is the first time I eat it. I'm a permanent legal person. And I'm scared too.
They looked Hispanic or like they worked in the fields or, they looked a little dirty. They were escorted.
These raids were also done in fields, outside of Home Depot, and while people were just driving, like this woman's husband who was taken in. This is happening to people who are working, who are just trying to provide for their family. This was never about going after criminals. This is just about racial profiling.
Congressional Black Caucus members see Trump's mass deportation promises as an affront to Black Americans. Well, I can speak for myself as a Black American, and I'm not offended by this at all. What does mass deportation have to do with me? I can't be deported anywhere, and nor can anyone in my family or any other Black American for that matter. This has nothing to do with us.
You think you're safe because you're a citizen? You are in for a very rude awakening. This is our new life. We have to carry passports with us everywhere we go. And I don't even think that'll be good enough. If the cops think you're a fucking immigrant, they're gonna take your ass.
Anyone else got this weird feeling of impending doom? Like something is coming? I just feel like it's been so weird, like the atmosphere has been weird. Something feels uneasy. There's just an uneasy feeling that you can't really shake.
What up, my beautiful Black people? Welcome to Black People Politics Network. I'm Mr. Red. For anyone questioning why Black people seem so cold to other communities of color or minority status, it's because the election has shown us that we are on our own. We know from our history that the people in charge cannot be trusted. Yet and still, we watch as countless minority groups decided they want to get in bed with people who don't care about them or their issues. It's always been about the whitening of America. Personally, I sympathize with the Hispanic and Latino people in these ICE raids. I've known people who are illegals. They work very hard. I have lived in Mexico. I watched how illegal immigrants helped to rebuild my city after one of the most devastating storms in U.S. history. Estoy agradecido por su trabajo en mi ciudad. But we, as black people, cannot be blamed if we look out for ourselves. Despite how we feel as black people, we also know that when their attention is done with whatever group they're targeting, they always turn their attention back to us. Today, I want to show you what is going on and what to expect in the upcoming months with respect to Hispanic and Latino communities. It can and will affect us all. Let's drop in. Let's get after it.
So I don't believe you guys understand how big of a day January 20th will be in this country. That is Inauguration Day. But there's something a little bit more stranger that maybe you're not paying attention to it. January 20th will be the beginning of the squeeze of migrants for them to leave the country.
In a private meeting with Republican senators last week, Trump and his team said he planned to issue an estimated 100 executive orders on his first day in office, including making it much harder to cross the southern border. But the president-elect will likely try to reinstate Title 42, the pandemic-era border restriction that allows the U.S. to expel migrants before they could seek asylum, citing concerns over the spread of disease.
A few moments later.
Tonight, the CDC is now warning about 4 respiratory illnesses on the rise in 35 states: the flu, COVID, RSV, and norovirus. ERs across the country seeing a surge of patients. Many of those cases are flu-related.
Miami-Dade County is going to be ground zero for the Orange Man's deportation program. Now, if you didn't know, Miami-Dade County has a 70% Hispanic population. This fact helped the Orange Man win the county by 11 percentage points. It's like the first time a Republican has won Miami-Dade County since 1988.
Miami is also a place that is very easy to target with regard to the new Trump administration will be doing. USA Today reported last week that Trump's deportation plan could target as many as 1.1 million people in the state of Florida, and that represents 5% of the Floridian population. They are folks who are undocumented, folks with TPS, folks with DACA, folks with parole. Very easy to target those individuals because the government already has their information.
We also know that he will try to invoke the Alien Enemies Act, which would essentially give the federal government the power, the authority to deport, to detain any non-U.S. citizen that they believe is deemed from an enemy country. We know from Operation Wetback that they literally packed hundreds of people into trains, planes, ships, and literally just dumped them in Mexico. What Stephen Miller has also told us is that they are actively designing new militarized giant detention centers where they would pack all these families.
Here's Geo Group President and COO Wayne Calabrese.
We expect the incoming Trump administration to take a much more expansive approach to monitoring the several millions of individuals who are currently on the non-detained immigrant docket. We have assured ICE of our capability to rapidly scale up our capabilities to monitor and oversee several hundreds of thousands or even several millions of individuals in order to achieve the federal government's immigration law compliance objective.
Now that Trump's won, the mask, or should I say the hood, is coming off these white nationalists. Because listen to this white woman basically say she only wants white immigrants and wants to make us feel uncomfortable.
And I was thinking, you know, if I could press a button and allow free migration with whites in this country, I would probably do it in exchange for the situation we have with H-1B visas and everything like that. But I do think that as a society, we need to, at a minimum, stop being welcoming. I mean, these people need to feel discomfort here and to want to go home.
That white nationalist is Rebecca Hargraves. And this is why I was trying to talk to Latinos and tell them stop aligning yourself with Trump. They don't like you.
You promised to end birthright citizenship on day one. Is that still your plan?
Yeah, absolutely.
The 14th Amendment, though, says that, quote, all persons born in the United States are citizens. Can you get around the 14th Amendment with an executive
we're going to have to get a change. We'll maybe have to go back to the people, but we have to end it. We're the only country that has it.
Through an executive action?
You know, we're the only country that has it.
But everything in the world is going to change on January 20th because the President of the United States is going to use every single legal legal, diplomatic, and financial tool to halt the entry of all illegal aliens into this country. There will be no benefits, there will be no entry, there will be no asylum, there will be no admission. You may be prosecuted, you will certainly be arrested, and you will absolutely be deported.
Breaking news. In a pivotal, unanimous decision, the United States Supreme Court has affirmed that the Department of Homeland Security, or DHS, possesses expansive authority to revoke visa petitions without the possibility of judicial review, even when the revocation is predicated on allegations of marriage fraud. The court's ruling specifies that this discretionary power of the DHS is not subject to judicial oversight under a federal statute that restricts court intervention in certain administrative decisions.
The other thing is people are saying Biden is president, Trump can't do anything yet. Again, I'm going to call bullshit. If that orange turd can call his Republican congresspeople and tell them how to vote, what makes you think, and this was right after the election, he wasn't even certified. If he could do that, he and Elania, what makes you think that he would not reach out to Republican congresspeople over these counties and get some shit started?
I am at the airport and we're about to start boarding pretty soon, and I'm still tripping out that I'm about to go back to Mexico.
Now I'm seeing online where these farmers are saying that if mass deportation takes hold and these illegals leave, that their farming business can only survive for 2 days. You should have known that already. You voted for him.
What percentage of your workers are not U.S. born?
Probably half.
About half?
Yeah.
How many hours does this go on?
It's 24 hours a day. You know, we could milk 8 hours a day, but it wouldn't be feasible or profitable for us to produce milk.
So you need workers like this year-round?
Yes.
Governor Kristi Noem of South Dakota, her farm is just a few miles away. This farmer who voted for her, who voted for Trump, who still supports them, doesn't believe that they would round up immigrants and ask them for their immigration status, because it's an open secret that farms in this state are held up by undocumented workers.
You have to have a plan set up for that to take place. It's no different than the bills, healthcare bill and stuff like that. Nothing can be replaced unless you really have a long set up process for the next thing to take hold. You can't just say, hey, I'm going to get rid of these people and then look at the farmers that are left without workers.
You're not going to get an entitled American to come out and do the work that we do. It's hot. There's mosquitoes out here. It's an uncomfortable situation.
What do you tell someone who says, I'm not a farmer, I don't hire undocumented immigrants, this doesn't affect me?
Good for them. Get ready to pay more at the grocery store.
Wait a minute, there are Americans who are unemployed. Why can't you just hire them?
They don't want to come out here and work in this extreme conditions. 100+ degree temperatures, dust, hard work.
What if you paid them more?
It doesn't matter. You know, we pay some of the highest wages for farm workers in the nation right here in California, and they won't come out. In California, we grow about 50% of the fruits and vegetables and nuts for the country. Any shortage of food like that is going to impact everybody in the nation, because not only will food be less available, it'll be more expensive.
What's going on right now in the state of Texas is the perfect example of how Donald Trump is not even in office yet, and the find out phase of the consequences of voting for him are starting to come to pass already. I don't know if you guys heard the story, but Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, has offered like 1,400 acres of land to Donald Trump in order to help him with his mass deportation project, you know, to build more immigration detention centers, to help him in this effort to take back America. On the other hand, we have a bunch of executives, a bunch of owners of large construction companies in Texas stating or sounding the alarm, as they say, that the mass deportations could literally halt the construction industry in Texas, because the majority of their labor, I believe something around 60% of the people that work in the construction industry in Texas, are undocumented.
I've shared with you guys that I live in a predominantly white, ultra-conservative community that most would consider Trump country. I also shared that many of my friends are business owners, mostly in the trades such as floor contractors, roofing contractors. However, the vast majority of their skilled labor are immigrants. Undocumented immigrants on top of that. I previously shared that my friend had called and said that he didn't believe that Trump and immigration were going to deport the immigrants who were out here working hard and taking care of their families. He felt like that they were only going to deport the immigrants who were committing crimes. This is why it's important that people actually do their homework. Don't just read headlines or just trust everything that Trump says. Trump loves to tell everybody that it's all fake news. We can trust no one but him.
To all these Trump supporters, you see that there are no immigrants out here working. You can come get your job back, but you gotta show up here at 4 in the morning and you gotta leave at 8 o'clock at night, regardless of the weather, whether it's raining or if it's -2 degrees. You have to come out here. You voted for Trump, so these guys self-deported. So now you got your jobs back. So come out here, work. You don't get any health care insurance. You definitely are a 1099, so you have to take care of your own personal taxes. And most importantly, you only get paid $1 a bell, so you have to make 100 bells from Monday to Friday in order to actually meet whatever quota you got.
Whenever he talks about the immigrants and he calls them rapists, murderers, killers, garbage and scum and the worst, they're sending their worst over here. He's talking about you too, and me, because to him, we're all the same. If he was walking down the street and he saw you and one of the people that had just crossed the border, he wouldn't be able to tell you apart, and to him, it doesn't make a difference.
Why did the Latino vote differ so much from the black vote?
Because we got our own white people.
Understand what mass deportation is? It's everybody who are so misinformed. It is ridiculous. If your family comes here illegally, that's a crime. Any illegal family, you are going to be deported.
He doesn't mind people 20, 30 years ago that built their families here.
You guys read up on the project 2025?
That doesn't exist, honey. It's called getting a lawyer. It's called fixing your papers.
So if you come here illegally, make your money, and then become legal. You understand the whole thing of that argument, right?
The millions of Hispanics that used to come here in 1980 and 1990. My mom and dad came here in 1990. Guess who they lived with? In an apartment with 12 to 15 people.
Who the fuck cares? They came here illegal.
Yeah.
You're so fucking stupid and you deserve it. You fucking deserve it because you're so dumb. Jim, it's hypocrisy. So go with me here. Yes, I am gloating over your stupidity and how you were taken. You've been co-opted because you're in a fucking cult and you don't even realize it because you have stupid MAGA brain and you don't get it.
People can come from other parts of Latin America, marry white as like they're told to do, assimilate and assume a white identity that black people cannot escape from.
1-866-347-2423. Hello, ICE? Yeah, I got one.
A lot of the laws that allow immigrants to come to America and set up and live life are laws that black people fought for their own civil rights. And when black people are out here fighting for their own civil rights, others, minorities, whether it's white women, the Asians, and you Latinos, white Latinos, benefit more than the black people who have been fighting to get those laws passed. So when black people say to you, yo, Trump ain't shit, vote for fucking Kamala, you guys decide, nah, I'm not gonna do shit with black people. I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna vote for Trump.
I don't trust you motherfuckers.
I'm not gonna hold you, bro. I'm not trying to hear that shit. I'm not trying to hear y'all try to separate yourselves now from, into subgroups of Latino, to prove that you didn't vote for Trump. I don't give a shit. We told y'all what was gonna happen. Trump is trying to end birthright citizenship and deport entire families. If y'all had listened to black folks, because we tried to warn you. We tried to warn Latinos and immigrants, and don't even get me started on the Arab community that went out and voted for Trump, especially in Michigan, because we've been warning them about what was going to happen with them. I mean, not to mention in the Trump presidency, he even fucking instituted a Muslim ban, and they went out and they overwhelmingly supported him. The reason why we know is because we have been through it. That's the reason why we keep trying to warn y'all, but y'all don't want to listen to us. Y'all keep seeming to think that black people are just lazy or, ignorant or something of that nature, to where, us forewarning you doesn't come from some type of experience or something. Y'all think we're just making it up.
So my husband, I'm like, are you sure you want to vote Republican? And he's saying he's going to deport criminals. You're not a criminal. Every time we go to ICE, they tell you, Mr. Juarez, your wife is not a criminal. He voted for him, and now he's deporting his wife. And now they're deporting me. They're kicking me out.
You guys, I'm not even gonna lie.
These raids happening in Bakersfield are weighing super, super heavy on me today. And unfortunately, I have experienced deportation firsthand when my parents were deported when I was, I think, 12 and 13 or 13 and 14. I don't even remember. It's been so long. And that was the hardest thing I had ever gone through in my entire life. Until this day, when I think about that little girl having to say goodbye to both of her parents, it's absolutely heartbreaking, and I literally have a knot in my throat just thinking about it. More than anything, I feel horrible for these kids, because I wouldn't want anyone, not even my worst fucking enemy, to go through something like that.
Living here on the border, do you support mass deportations?
No, absolutely not.
What should happen with all these migrants?
They need to figure out something, but this is a long time. I've lived up here since kids used to walk across. There was never a problem until Trump came into office. I'll just leave it at that.
So do you think Trump's going to be the man to fix this situation?
No, this is going to make everything worse. We're not going to have anybody get the food. I remember 10 years ago they were looking for workers to pick strawberries. No white people pick strawberries for any price. No price. No price. We're going to be screwed.
This is a deep subject that will